At 13 years old, I decided that I was going to move out of my house. So I am Catholic, Roman Catholic, Italian, brought up in Brooklyn. I currently moved out of Brooklyn since. But I did what every good Catholic girl did. You listen to your parents, you go to church, you do all your sacraments. I was that Italian girl whose grandma had the picture of the Saint Teresa in her bedroom, the one that everybody has, holding the flowers behind the couch or in the bedroom. And it was always kind of like eerie to me, because I would go into my grandma's bedroom and I would look and I would swear that the Saint Teresa was following me. My dad would go to like Greek masses and Chinese masses, and he would go to we would go to synagogue often, so he would drag me to these masses, we would go to church, and then he would fall asleep, and I was absolutely bored out of my mind. I didn't understand a word of what was going on. Obviously, I'm a young girl, and here I am, my father is literally passed out, snoring in the pew in a Greek mass. But they did the best that they could, like most parents, I believe, do the best that they can. The background of our own parents, and that really is what happened with me, because I feel like I didn't really learn who my parents were until after they passed. And then I said to myself, oh, I get it now. I get why they were the way that they were, and they weren't bad people. They come from a very old school generation. My parents had me late in life. At 13 years old, I decided that I was going to move out of my house. I didn't live by myself. I lived with another family member, and that's where I started to feel like God just didn't love me, I felt. And this continued to go on in my life for 20 years, because I didn't come to Christ until I was 44 years old. I realized that God was always there for me. I just was not listening.